Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this month's edition of Let's Get Savvy. I am joined here with Meredith Campbell.
Good morning.
And Eric Spada.
Morning.
From Mission 35. Again, thank you for joining us. We love hosting these every month. Remember, they are on the second Wednesday at 10 a.m. of every month. Check us out. We're going to talk what's going on in the real estate game. We're going to talk some mortgages, give a little bit more information on ourselves, and hopefully educate any of those buyers or sellers out there that are in real estate or not today. So just to talk about what we're seeing right now, and we'll start it off with some real estate stuff. Meredith, anything specific you're seeing happening over the past 4 weeks at all, or?
I think things are definitely picking up after all the uncertainty, and there was a lot going on. I think for buyers right now, I can't stress it enough, try not to time the market. Really, it's very personal and unique for everybody, the situation, but if you're looking to make a move or, add to your portfolio, right now is a great window to buy because a lot of people are on the sidelines, and that gives you a bit more negotiating power to some degree. But if you need help with anything, whether it's buying or selling, reach out to the SAVI team, and we're always happy to guide you and support you in any way.
Yeah, it's been a very active 4 weeks for appointments. Mm-hmm. So I think buyers are starting to get the message that we've been relaying to them. There is a lot of inventory at the moment as well, but I think when I looked at the appointments over the last few weeks, it's been the highest that it's been in a few years.
Right.
That's great to see. Great to see the buyers out. With all of these listings that are available, and we talked about it in previous episodes, but when the spring market comes, which everybody is kind of counting this as a spring market, there's more and more inventory for those sellers out there. If you listed a little bit earlier, there would have been a little bit less competition, and those early buyers and those early sellers have already done their transactions. Now there's a little bit more of a flooding of listings on the market, so you may have to wait a little bit longer, but appointments are up, and so we're seeing a lot of activity. Eric, what are you seeing on the mortgage side right now?
When it comes to buyers, we're actually seeing a lot of activity with pre-approvals. People are getting back into the market. So people are coming off the benches, which is nice. May, I can only speak to me personally because our company May numbers are not out, but 60% of my activity was all purchases. Mm-hmm. So whether that was an upgrade or first-time home buyers, the past 5 months, I would say somewhere around the 50-55% of my activity has been buyers. So that's good. That's very positive. Really, when it comes to what's going on in the market from our perspective, you have rates is one conversation, and it's an important conversation, but I think people are starting to understand that, the rhetoric that you're hearing out there is, while there's truth to, and there's reality to that, they still understand that they still got to move forward, right? Some interesting stats came out that according to Terranet, the average age for a first-time home buyer now is 40, right? Which is kind of concerning.
It's crazy,
right? Because if you think about it, if you don't have that churn on the bottom end, then people looking to do things in 10 years or 15 years, you're not going to have that activity to be able to buy up.
Yeah.
So while that's a concerning number, I think the market is still going to do some slight adjustments to be able to hopefully bring that back down into the low to mid 30s, so that way we get that churn going. Rates, on the rate side, as I hope everybody is well aware from all my posts and whatnot, but
you post
once in a while, like every 6 minutes, but it's only once in a while. I'm not as active as Meredith though. But with the Bank of Canada putting a pause and looking at the job numbers and the unemployment as well as the GDP, that's only affecting the variable rate. What's really important for people to understand is that when you're a fixed rate type of person, the Bank of Canada has nothing to do with that on those announcement dates. It's all tied to the bond, and the bonds are up. The yields are up, so prices are going up a little bit. So to your point, it's still a good time to buy. Most importantly is connect because we have the opportunity to do 120-day rate holds. So that way, if you are in the market, you don't miss out because rates have popped up 20 basis points because you are going to start looking in 2 months, right? Like, get it done now, get in front of a trusted advisor, and let's help you throughout the process.
Yeah, and I think what we're seeing on the real estate side more than ever, and I mean, this is my setup at home, but and I know a couple of my clients were ahead of this trend as well, but multi-generation families, like you had mentioned, first-time home buyers at 40 blows my mind, because when I think back to when my parents bought their first house and they were 21.
Right.
But now we're seeing a lot of, I know when buyers are asking me or they want to look, they're looking at properties that maybe have an in-law suite in the basement.
Yep.
And having 2-generation family homes where maybe the kids are on the main floor, the parents are in the basement, you got a built-in babysitter. Are you seeing any of that on your side, or?
So the conversation around ADUs is coming up quite a bit, so accessory dwelling units, for a couple different reasons. One for the multi-generational, but other is income. And so income, investment income, supplementary income. So we are seeing a little bit of that. Excuse me. In our particular region, I think, if I'm speaking honestly from the conversation that we are having, and as you know, the price points of those properties that have that in-law suite, that have the space for 2 or 3 kids that are already there, plus mom and dad or grandma, grandpa, those price points are still a little bit elevated.
Yeah.
So that makes it a little bit of a challenging, but to be able to buy a property, and so you look at those properties that are out there that are sitting that may not be as aesthetically pleasing. Let's just say they're still circa 2005 decor, right? Well, taking a look at them, they're sitting at 40, 50, 60, 70 days or more on the market. Go in with a strong offer, do a purchase plus improvement, then you can start doing everything you want, and you'll probably come out better and further ahead than if you were to try to find that perfect home that just needs a coat of paint, right? So there's different strategies. And then, it's with that in-law suite, while people want that, there's also the conversation. I don't know if you guys are seeing it, is like, how do they get there? Do they still have to go through the main level, or is it its own entrance? Is it downstairs? So then, like, I know for my family, my father-in-law is going to be moving in with us in a few years. He's going to sell his house, and he's slightly handicapped. So I can't have stairs. So I have to find something that's main level, 1 floor, etc. Right? So there's a lot of different nuances to that conversation for sure.
For sure. Yeah. Excellent. Meredith, is there a price point that you're seeing your buyers really looking at, or that is hot to you right now in Hamilton or surrounding area?
Yeah, I would say between like high 5s to high 6s, moving pretty quickly. It's a very common price point. And I just have one point that we were talking about in our team meeting, is being proactive. Like, if you're thinking of selling your home next fall or whenever it may be, get your photos done in summer. I feel like a lot of homes look the absolute best. They've got the flowers, the pool open, and you can take some steps beforehand and just be proactive, set yourself up for success, and make it a bit more stress-free. So if that's something you're interested in, give us a call and we can help you set that up. But photos in summer make such a big difference.
Yeah, they look so much nicer.
They're what attract buyers into coming to book a showing and coming to view the home. So doing those little things beforehand really helps.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a few fixes around the home. If you have a few things you've been putting off and you're thinking of selling, get those things done, because I feel buyers are a bit more picky. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're they have so many options now that they, making sure everything is right is, will do well.
Yeah,
in the
and
future.
I think, as both of you have just touched on, what I see often, and I kind of, give my sellers a heads up that 2 really quick selling places, and that price point is very hot right now. That's where I'm seeing everything is moving very quick as well. But either it's done perfectly, move-in ready, and people love it and they see it and they're like, I don't have to do a thing. I can move in and I'll pay a little bit more for it. Or great price. You know what? They didn't upgrade it 5 years ago, but it's dated now or damaged or whatever. and it just looks a little worn. So it's either perfect or it needs a lot of work.
Yeah.
Those right now, and I'd say for the last little while, have been like the two that sell the quickest, because I know from taking buyers through places in Meredith, you've probably seen it as well. When you take buyers through and they're like, oh, you know, this kind of works, but it looks like it's been updated recently. I don't want to really ruin what they did or have to redo it.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the listings that sit a little while and they stick a little longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, that's a great point. It's just, if you have a home that has great bones, it has, you know, a great backyard or whatever, it has a good layout, you don't need to necessarily worry too much about flipping the whole home or redoing and gutting a full bathroom, a full kitchen, because I've seen it a lot of times. Like, they go in and it's just not their preference or their certain styles. Yeah. So really just think of what's important to you, and if it's how fast you're getting your home sold, then maybe it is just pricing it really competitively and leaving a few things as is, but upgrading some of the more important items in the home. Yeah,
the ones that are like real fixers, they must be talking to mortgage brokers that are telling them to get a mortgage plus improvement.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So yeah, no, those are trends that I'm seeing right now. Mm-hmm. I think some people were expecting with this last rate announcement that, you know, it was kind of all over the place. We spoke about it. Some people thought it was going to go lower. Some people thought it was going to stay. Any feedback on that? Where were you sitting on that one?
So I actually thought it was going to come down 25 points. I was really hoping for 50.
Yeah.
But again, you know, the rate conversation is now, it's an exhausting one, because
for sure
you can go Monday, 80% of the economists or really smart people out there say, yep, we're going to have this. Tuesday, well, we're not sure, and then Wednesday morning, nothing happens.
No way,
yeah, but the really smart people that said yes,
yeah.
and you know, it's really a difficult conversation, and quite honestly, we're not economists. We can only go off of what's being reported to us,
right.
And like I said, it flops like the wind.
Mm-hmm.
I think what people need to really focus in on is more of the, you know, taking the holistic approach and understanding what your goals are, and making sure that the solution aligns with the goals. So much like when you're, you know, buying a home, right? When you're representing a buyer, well, are you planning on starting a family right away? Because you don't want to get a 2-bedroom or a 1+ den.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. And then in 2 years you're selling and breaking mortgage and paying penalties and whatnot, right? So understanding, so doing that know your client, the KYC, right? I think that's super important, and curating the experience such that, you know, you completely understand vertically top to bottom what they're doing, what their mindset is, you know, because there are a lot of people that are cohabitating, so they're not married, but they're still going to start a family in the next 6 months to 12 months.
Yeah.
So understanding that, so that way you can guide them through the process. And sometimes you're giving them the advice that they don't want to hear, right?
Yeah.
That's the hard part. People need to understand that there's going to be some tough conversations. And that's kind of like parents, right? Tough love, right? I'm just going to be honest with you. This is not the right solution for you.
Right. Yeah. No, and you know, I found that in the past, and I'm sure Meredith has as well. Sometimes you're taking clients to show them stuff that you know is probably going to suit them better than they even know yet, and they end up falling in love with it, or they don't think that that's what they want, but you take them there and they're like, oh, this actually works a little bit better. Yeah. So, you know, part of our job is to make sure that we're putting people in the right fit as well. And because you're right, sometimes they think that they want one thing, but they really need something else. So.
Well, that's really a consultative approach, right? There's the burn and turn approach, and then there's like, no, we're going to take the time to understand you.
Yeah.
And walk you through the journey and make sure you're protected with everything.
Yeah.
Right? So.
And one thing that we're all aligned on, and why we all work so well together, our team and with Eric and a couple of our other partners, is we all take that approach. You are lifetime clients for us. It's not, we don't see our clients as transactions or anything like that. I actually spoke to some clients this week, and they said, in 2 or 3 years, if the market changes and this place goes up, are you going to let us know? And I said, yeah, I keep talking to you. We don't, you know, get you a house and then never talk to you again, and you never hear from us. So we are going to talk to you consistently. So don't ignore our calls.
Or emails, or
yeah. Or posts.
Or posts, yeah.
Okay, well, that's all great information. One thing that we started last month and that I'd like to continue with, a little extra special segment, is getting to know everybody a little bit better. And we're gonna have everybody on the team go through this, but just a couple questions so that you guys get to know who we work with, who we are, who our partners are. We want to open up a little bit more and not just show you only the real estate side, but the more personal side. So, Meredith, born and raised in Hamilton.
Yes.
Okay.
Steel City all the way.
Yes. What got you into real estate? What do you love about real estate?
My mom actually suggested it to me. I was in personal training before that, which I loved. I do love fitness, but my mom suggested it. I love working with people, and my mom and dad always invested in real estate, and from a young age she got her first place, put tenants in there, and I was really inspired by that. So yeah, just real estate as a whole, everything that comes with it day to day, I really enjoy. It gives me a lot of energy and purpose, and yeah.
What's your favorite part of Hamilton?
Going to the Bayfront is definitely one of my favorite spots. I love being by the water, love going rollerblading there. Westcliff is one of my favorite neighborhoods up on the mountain. I love the fact that you can go down the stairs and end up down the mountain, go to Lock Street or Dundurn, whatever it may be. Yeah, and also like Albion Falls. I love going we have so many waterfalls in Hamilton, so I think that's really beautiful.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I know you love working with all your clients. Meredith is probably the most genuine person you will meet in your life. You love working with all your clients. You do a fantastic job.
Thank
You treat
you.
everybody equal. Is there a specific type of buyer, first time buyer, or downsize, or anybody that you get like? I know you get excited to work with anyone, but is there anyone you get like, oh, this is like my dream of like working with a client like this?
I've had a few come to mind. Like, I mean, helping someone buy their first place is very fulfilling. I mean, seeing the reaction on their face when they walk in the home, and it's a big milestone. So I would say maybe first-time home buyers and also downsizers. Like, I love this shift and change in, a period of life. So really anybody, but yeah.
Okay, excellent. Anything crazy you've seen in real estate so far? This is a put you on the spot question.
Going on this.
Yeah, we joke about it all the time, but is there anything crazy you've seen so far where, without naming names, obviously?
No, for sure. I mean, I'm seeing some agents just absolutely kill it, which is very inspiring, and I'm taking notes. So congrats to all you awesome agents being responsive and being just a great realtor. But yeah, I've seen some agents totally not respond, which is killer. Let offers expire. So cuts like a knife, but we're just gonna keep forging on. So
that's right. No, you're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Again, it's more in the person that you are and the way that you work with your clients. It's fantastic.
Thank you so much. Well, happy to be part of the team.
Yeah.
You're a great mentor. I appreciate it.
And Eric,
here
you're with us. Eric,
you're in the hot seat.
So, Eric from Mission 35. Eric, where are you from?
So, born and raised in South Detroit, as I like to say. So, which is actually Windsor,
Yes.
Ontario, and it's south of Detroit.
Yeah.
So, and Journey is one of my
Hung out
favorite
with
bands.
Eminem. And,
8 Mile was about 10 miles away from me.
There you
So
go.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I had a stint with blonde hair once.
Nice.
Yeah, lose yourself. Anyway, yeah. So that's where I'm from. I've been up here for 15 years.
All right.
Yeah.
So you're feeling like a local
Yeah,
right now?
You know what? It's funny because in my previous life, before I got into mortgages 5 years ago, I traveled quite a bit for work. So, and a lot of my clients were U.S., Europe, and elsewhere in Canada. So, getting into the mortgage game and really, it's a fulfilling industry from my perspective. Then you start meeting great people like yourselves and other partners, and you're like, okay, now you start to feel like you're kind of a Hamiltonian, right? Because now you're working with people that
Feels great though, doesn't it?
It feels different. It does feel different.
Even though you're from Denver.
Right.
I sleep in
Yeah, sorry.
I wasn't born there.
Yeah.
So I mean, born and raised in Windsor and came up here 15 years ago when I met my wife. Yeah.
Lovely.
Amazing. And we met back in the day. Our kids played football together. Got a chance to coach his son, and yeah, good times. But what got you into mortgages?
So having bought and sold homes throughout my life, and then just talking to people and hearing some of the things that I was hearing about, you know, like the craziest story I had is a lady I used to work with, her sister had an agreement with a mortgage broker that she would pay him a monthly fee in perpetuity of owning the home. And I was like, wait a second. I've done this a few times. I've never heard of that. And then you start digging. Yeah. And I started asking people. Back home that are in the real estate business, mortgage business, people up here. And I'm like, there's a lot of like unsavory tactics being had out there. And I always say, you know, I went to University of Windsor for criminology, and then I went to St. Clair College for Police Foundation. So this innate feeling of having to protect people is kind of there. Yeah. And I'm like, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way to do this. So I found that getting into mortgages was a way to protect people, not just from because I did think about real estate, but from a perspective of financial protection, and not jamming people and doing the right thing for people. Yeah. That's really where I kind of went, okay, like this is going to be my jam here, because now I can really guide people through the debt consolidation process, the first time home buyer process, making sure they're making good financial decisions, or even the downsizing, right? Yeah. There's a lot of seniors out there that have found themselves still having a mortgage at the age of 75, 80. Mm-hmm. So, because
they're buying at 40.
Well, because they're buying at 40, or they're, you know, they've gotten taken advantage of. I've had, I guess, the pleasure, I'll say that, of helping people get out of that and seeing the relief at an 80-year-old going, thank you. I don't like, I can buy groceries again. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's really fulfilling and rewarding. So
amazing. Yeah. Awesome. Actually, on that note, we just, Natalie from our team just had a listing and helped one of her clients, 82-year-old.
Yeah, so sweet.
Helped her move. Now, Natalie killed it. We had multiple offers on this place. Sold way over asking, and the client, 82-year-old, lived there for 82 years. Since she was 6 months old, and just had a fantastic experience with Natalie. She was so excited. She was like holding back tears. She wanted to give hugs all around and stuff. So she was so excited and thrilled. But yeah, it's those fantastic experiences and feelings that make you want to continue to do it. And exactly what you said, you're helping people, right?
Yeah. So I mean, to your point, you know, when you tell a first-time home buyers you can afford that,
yeah,
like, we can.
Yeah.
Or somebody who's, you know, overextended themselves, and you save them $1,000, $1,500 a month, and now it's like I can breathe. Or the older community that, you know, needs help because they still have a mortgage and they don't have a super great pension, and they're on OAS and CPP, and you know, it's, you know, they don't like it, right? They're struggling. So those are my kind of where I find myself. I love it.
Yeah.
You know, I'll upgrade anybody. Like I'll do anything, right? But those when you see those faces, and you're like, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah. It's fulfilling.
It is. Oh my God.
You're like, okay, I'm ready for the next one.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Amazing. No, I love. Hey, you guys are all. We're all on the same page. I love it.
Yeah.
That's why we all work well together.
The dream team.
Yes, and everyone in the back
over there too.
At the moment, but yes, no, and thank you guys for joining me today. And
wait. So Vince.
Yes.
Where are you from?
I am born and raised in Hamilton Mountain, like right Stone Church and Upper Gauge.
Okay.
Used to sit and drink smoothies with the boys at Judge City and Becker's. Yeah, no, grew up in Hamilton. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I credit there are, you know, two people that I really credit with getting me into real estate, and that is Alex Barandi and Conrad Zerini. They helped me sell, my wife and I and our family sell our first house, and it was such a great experience. The same experience that we give to everybody. It was such a great experience that I was like, that's what I want to do. Like, I want to have that kind of impact on people and do it at that high level, not, you know, just come in and be like, oh, we're just going to list your house, and you list it and you sell it and they're gone, right? And so yeah, that amazing experience got me into it. And I know people that get into it because of great experiences. I know people that get into it because of poor experiences. Right. You know, they had a bad experience and they're like, I don't want that to happen to anybody else. Mine was definitely a great experience, and I give them credit all the time for, you know, encouraging me to follow through with it and get into it. So yeah, definitely very, very thankful for being able to do it every day and working with the people that I work with, because it is very fulfilling of a job. But
sure.
Yes, Hamilton boy, now in Stony Creek, part of Hamilton. But yeah, no, it's repping St. Jean de Brebeuf. Woo. We're brave.
14 kids. Yeah.
Couple kids. Yeah.
Mini football team at home.
Yeah. So, I know we've gone longer than usual. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Again, you can catch Let's Get Savvy every second Wednesday of the month at 10 a.m. Before we go, just a couple things to check out. Please, we have some listings available, okay? And some of them are phenomenal, others are better than phenomenal, okay? So when you're looking for a house, please check out any one of the following. We have a fantastic bungalow at 98 Carrick Trail in Welland. It is a lifestyle, or a mature lifestyle home. Now, the builder there, Lucetta Homes, is fantastic. I do have to say, I don't think there's another builder that when we have a listing, clients come in and they specifically ask if it's a Lucetta built home. And they are not paying me to say this, or this is not an advertisement for them, but it's a noticeable thing that when people come in and they're like, was this Lucetta built? And I'm like, yes, it was. All of a sudden it takes it up a notch. So just in terms of quality and what they do. So that is a beautiful, stunning home. And if you're into pickleball, mahjong, cribbage, any of those, tennis, they have all of that stuff. Darts, if you want to go swimming, they have all of that stuff in this community. It's included. It's fantastic. So there is that one. There is one at 9 Bing Crescent, Stony Creek. Beautiful backyard, pool.
Love the swing.
The swing into the
pool.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. It'd be so fun.
Fantastic area, great schools, great community. Then we have, I'm going off the top of my head right now. Give me some. Beautiful townhouse in Dundas, coming up live today. On it is 31 Moss Boulevard, unit number 1. Over 2,000 square feet of living space. Has a little separate spot on the main level where you can maybe rent it out. That is a beautiful one that is coming up live today, and we're going to have an open house this weekend for that as well. And then what do we got? We got so many, and we're selling them, but they're coming up quick too. We have one in Niagara Falls on Corwin Crescent. Beautiful home, beautiful area. The area is surrounded by some fantastic houses on a nice lot there. You got to go check that one out. It's priced nicely. We have one on Ferguson in Niagara Falls. Affordable housing. Get in there. Beautiful bungalow. I love our client style in there. She really decorates it very, very unique and stylish. But go check it out and have a look. We have 2 commercial properties. One down on Barton Street. Big warehousey space, could be used for multiple purposes. We have one on Anchor Road as well. Again, one of those big shell units, but again, can be used for multiple purposes. What else do we got? Team? What else we got? We got Sophia's newest listing on Tulip Trail? Tulip Tree. On Tulip Tree in Niagara Falls. Another townhouse. That one is a brand new listing as well. So check that one out. We also have some land for sale out in Perry Sound. Yeah. We got, I think it's roughly 6 acres of land. 6.5 acres. Thank you, Sophia. Incredible price. And am I missing anything? Are we missing anything?
Going once, going twice.
Oh, North Service Road. Sorry, I did not forget that one. 515 North Service Road. If you want a water view, it's fantastic.
Yeah,
I was there
great
this
area.
weekend for an open house. You get a beautiful water view. You can sit outside all day long out there, and it's completely updated. Check it out. You could either lease it or purchase it. So, again, I know we went super long today. That's okay. We had some good quality content. Great company with me, so I don't mind talking to them a little bit longer.
I was
Those
just going to
people-
do that. You know I'm a high
Yeah,
five person.
I am too. I am too. So again, thank you for joining us. Check us out next month, 10 o'clock in the morning. Check us out for live, or you can watch the replay on Instagram every second Wednesday of the month. We will see you soon. Thank you for checking us out on Let's Get Savvy.
Have a great day.
Bye.